you made your house a reality. Homeschooling yourself on loans, color-coding listings, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. If you can ace house hunting, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. Changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I've just been in an accident. What am I supposed to do?
Before you act, let me attack. I'm Nathaniel Mack. Call today, 333-MACK. You don't pay unless we win.
Let's call Mac.
Let's call Matt.
Nothing to do this week? Don't miss another event. Go to blacksinsanantonio.com for our event calendar. The home of the largest business directory in San Antonio with an African American focus. Sign up today for our weekly e-blast and text message alerts. Help us make this a better community. Connect, empower, grow.
Because it matters to you, it matters to us. It is Black Video News with your host, Keith Scott. Black Friday Live, San Antonio. Here we go.
I want to thank you all for tuning in to Black Friday Live. I'm your host, Keith Scott. You know where we come with hot topics and subject matter, always with a special guest. Now, I've got two special guests on this week's episode of Black Friday Live, and I'm just going to start right here and let the ladies introduce themselves. Hello, ladies. How are you all doing?
Good. Doing well. Glad to be here today. My name is Mika Johnson. I am a producer at KSAT 12 News. And I am a native of San Antonio, born and raised. Have lived in other cities still, but born and raised right here in Alamo City.
Okay.
And I'm just like to be an active participant in the community and just hosting various community events when I can.
Wow, got a producer being active in the community.
Yes.
Ma'am, tell our viewers who you are.
Very important, Mika. My name is Patricia Castillo, and I'm a social worker by profession. I'm the executive director and co-founder of the Peace Initiative.
Right.
And PEACE is an acronym that stands for Putting an End to Abuse Through Community Efforts.
Yes.
And we've been around since 1990, educating and informing the community about domestic violence.
Okay.
And the consequences of domestic violence when we don't respond adequately.
Right. So almost 2 decades, Ms. Castillo, you've been doing this, huh?
Almost 3.
Time has flown.
Oh yeah. 2 decades with Peace Initiative, but I worked other jobs 10 years before that.
Oh, I'm quite sure.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you ladies decided to reach out to us, because one of the things we just talked about on another segment on BVN called Hot Topics for our viewers, it is Domestic Violence Month.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that San Antonio has a serious issue when it comes to domestic violence.
Sadly, it does. And I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
I knew you were going to put that in there. You want to say hi to your source.
Hello. And we are hosting a domestic violence symposium this Friday at the Barbara Jordan. And we are doing this in collaboration with We Speak on Purpose with Karen Chatham. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Karen Chatham, who we're going to be hosting this event with.
Okay, tell us a little bit about her.
Karen Chatham, she is a victim of domestic violence.
Okay.
And she is known here in the communities for her plays and for her books that she has written to raise awareness about domestic violence.
What's her name again?
Karen Chatham.
Karen Chatham. That name does sound familiar.
Yes,
okay.
She's pretty well known here in San Antonio.
Okay.
And we're working with her to host this domestic violence symposium. And we want to just bring out the attention to how, you always hear about so many cases of domestic violence. And so we are hosting this to bring attention to how to be proactive.
Okay.
And the resources that are available for victims of domestic violence.
Right.
And, Delta Sigma Theta here in San Antonio, we are a public service organization.
Okay.
So we are, our main goal is to be work in our communities and to work to empower our communities. And so we are always, we're always working to, see what we can have to make a difference in the San Antonio community and in the Black community and in Hispanic community as well.
Okay.
So that's why we're putting this on. And it's something that we generally do every year during, Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Right. So you guys are always on point, staying on course with what you do, with your mission. But Mrs. Castillas, it seems like that you're kind of combining your efforts with your organization as well, with the Deltas. Tell us a little bit more about, what's taking place here, because here we are in San Antonio, and there's a lot of domestic violence going on right here in this city.
Yes.
Maybe you can share some information with us.
Well, at the Peace Initiative, our job is to make sure that people are connected to resources and know where to go to seek help. That's one of the biggest problems that survivors of domestic violence face, is that they don't know who to call. They don't know what to ask for. They don't even have the language that, speaks to this issue the way it needs to be addressed. And so our job is to teach people.
Right.
At the Peace Initiative, we also run a program called Project Advance, and it's for first-time arrestees of domestic violence.
Okay.
The goal of that program is to keep people out of the established pattern of domestic violence. Once you start getting arrested for domestic violence, it tends to be a beast that just keeps luring you in, and you keep getting rearrested and rearrested. Well, our job is to stop, intervene in that recidivism, and give people tools, knowledge, and information so that they don't get arrested again. We want people to stay out of jail.
Yeah.
And this is something that can be prevented. It's totally preventable. But unfortunately, in many families, what we see is that they wait till the last minute.
Yeah.
They wait till things are escalated beyond help. They wait till things are to the point where somebody's injured, hospitalized, or dead. And, that's one of the things that we're looking at. Last year, in all of 2017, we killed 11 women. This year, as of right now, we're at 24.
24 women have died from domestic violence right here in San Antonio, Texas.
We are breaking records. And in there are sprinkled some men, too, because some of the cases are murder-suicides. And so the men kill their victim, and then they kill themselves.
Yeah.
And so everybody loses, no matter how you look at it.
Right. And I want to ask you, and let's just stay right there where you were, because you said that you guys have a program for first-time offenders.
Yes.
What approach do you use when we talk about, just use an example for your first-time offender that comes in with this program?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of the victims, a lot of the students are victims that are defending themselves. So those are women that finally decide to fight back one day, and then they get arrested because the victim, their abuser, most of the time has a scratch on the face or a bite on their arm or something like that, where the women were defending themselves. But you also have men, that are being victimized either by female perpetrators or by male perpetrators.
Okay.
And so we're there to help them realize that it doesn't have to be this way, that these are some options that you have to stop the violence. These are some places that you can go to get help. And our approach is not punitive. Our approach is, you can do better.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this way for you. These are some of the options that you have, and what is it that you choose to do? Because you don't want to get caught up in that cyclical nature of domestic violence, because it's a crime of pattern.
Yeah.
And if you don't do something early on to intervene, then it'll become an established pattern. And, like I said, that can escalate all the way to homicide, all the way to murder-suicide.
Yeah, and those are some of the things that we don't want it to escalate to. Now, the Deltas decided to make an effort to do this. How long have you guys been doing it now? Is this the first year that you've been active with this?
No, this is not the first year, but we have done this for, it's been several years now.
Okay.
And we wanted to kind of make it a little different this year. That's why we decided to have we actually had decided to have Patricia come on to
Right.
talk about the Peace Initiative, about, you know, the resources that they provide and the cases that she tends to deal with. And she's not the only guest speaker. We will also have another guest speaker who's been a victim of domestic violence. And she's really she has a very incredible, sad story. She did lose a child with this domestic violence case. But I mean, when I tell you, she is just a true story of inspiration. And so really looking forward to having her speak. And I think that, you know, when you hear these heartfelt stories and when you host events like this, and I think, you know, it just brings the reality of the situation, and it just helps people to just be more aware and to really examine the relationships that you get into. And, you know, I think a lot of people, they tend also be silent about the domestic violence abuse that they may be encountering. And it doesn't always have to be, you know, physical abuse. It could be mental abuse. It can be verbal abuse.
Yeah.
But
abuse is abuse,
yes,
isn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we just really want, you know, our communities and, you know, the Black community, the Hispanic community, to not continue to, you know, encounter these, just people in general encounter these toxic relationships.
Yeah, that's
being aware.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And it seems like your organization is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
When we talk about bringing more awareness and giving people options. And I think that's some of the things that people need to know too, is that there are options out there. You don't have to stay in the closet with this.
No, you don't. And unfortunately, shame is a big, big barrier. People are very embarrassed that this is happening to them. People are ashamed that they find themselves in these kind of situations, and so they don't want to tell. And it keeps them from seeking help. But please, please don't let shame be the reason why you stay in an abusive relationship. You deserve much more than having to live in secrecy, silence, and shame, and being battered and being abused. Whichever way that it's happening to you, you deserve better. And reach out to us, come to the symposium, learn, because knowledge is power. And I do this work and have done it for so many years because I know thousands of survivors that have gotten themselves out, that have recreated their lives, that are remaking their lives for themselves and their kids. And it is totally possible to do. If you can survive an abuser, you can do anything.
Please share some information on how they can get connected with your organization for somebody that's out there, that's watching, that's listening, that may want some information. Please give them an email or a phone number, please.
Well, they're welcome to look us up on the web. We're thepeaceinitiative.net. And they're also welcome to call us at 210-533-2729. And my cell number is 210-632-1996.
Mika, I want to thank you all for even bringing this to our attention here. That's what this platform is all about, ladies. It's all about people that are making an impact in the community, in their industry, but also these type of forums bringing awareness to our community. We need more people like yourselves to come on this network and talk about what they're doing in the community. And I want to thank you, ladies.
And I just want to reiterate
Please do.
that is this Friday, October 26th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Barbara Jordan.
At the Barbara Jordan Gervin Center. For more information, you can call 210-724-2877 for more information on this. It is Domestic Violence Month. We talked about it on one of our shows here on BVN. Please reach out, take advantage of these ladies and this information that they share with us. If you have any issues or you're making an impact, or you want to talk about some of the things that you're doing in the community, feel free. Send me an email at kscott@Black Video News. Feel free, reach out to me. Let's get you on the set. Let's talk about it. I want to thank these ladies. I'm Keith Scott. We'll see you next time right here on Black Video News. As always, be encouraged.